to the United States, and as we've seen what's happened since June 24th of this year, when Roe v. Wade has been overturned, what that essentially means is that women no longer have the constitutional right to get an abortion in the United States, regardless of which state they live in. And because of that, there's about 26 states that may ban abortion, since it's been overturned and no longer a constitutional right. Now, in the House lawmakers are now investigating how tech companies will handle health data related to abortion. This is very critical because the lawmakers need to essentially understand what it means in those 26 states if and when abortion is banned, and that's actually, it's a matter of when, because of the laws they have in place. So 3 House lawmakers have launched an investigation into the collection and safe sale of personal health data related to abortion by data brokers and for period tracking apps. And the House Oversight Committee members are Representative Caroline Maloney, Raja Krishnamurthy, and Sarah Jacobs. And essentially last night, they sent a letter to 5 data broker companies and 5 health tracking app companies seeking information about their collection, retention, and sale of personal health data. The companies have until July 21st to respond. And this comes amongst the increased concerns that personal data, such as location, history, health history, messages, and searches could be used by law enforcement in some of these states to criminalize people seeking or providing abortions. And this is because Roe v. Wade is no longer the protection, a constitutional protection. Women have to have an abortion in the United States, regardless of where they live. So many tech companies have now declined to say how they plan to respond on such requests with law enforcement. But when it comes to online privacy experts, they've identified data brokers which have collected consumer data from various online sources and licensed it to third parties and essentially advertisers to be able to direct their advertising and target it to their audience, is now very vulnerable when it comes to law enforcement that could potentially purchase users' data and gather it for essentially a formal legal request. And that's to be very mindful of, and that's why this investigation has been launched, to understand what are the implications on these app providers. And the companies that now have been contacted include Safegraph, Digital Envoy, Pacer, Gravy Analytics, Babel Street. And when it comes to menstrual cycle tracking, well, there's the app Flow Health, Glow, BioInc, and those are some of the companies that track it. Now, I did cover this last week in a Y Media special report, that some of these companies have said that they're going to work in terms of making sure that their subscribers, the people that use their app, are no longer going to be known to them, even the company, and they're going to be anonymous. So if they're ever in a situation where they would have to hand over data to police, well, they wouldn't actually have the identity. Now, how is that possible? That's to be seen. They did say that there will be a special email where the subscribers of some of these apps can contact to delete their prior history that does have their details. Because if you've noticed, I mean, if you've download an app on your phone, you put your name, you put your gender, you put your date of birth, you put some information and your email, whether it's your phone number, and then of course it tracks the information that you're inputting in the app. No longer are you using pen and paper and a journal to track things. You're using app that optimizes your usage and gives you data and feedback for whatever the purpose of that app is, and in this case, when it comes to health related and when it comes to the menstrual cycle of women. So that is to be seen. And when it comes to the collection of sensitive data, it could essentially be a serious threat to those the people that use these apps, because if they're in a state that it's illegal, well, it's been said that they'd have to travel to another state where they can get an abortion that is legal. But for people who essentially have they're not able to afford such travel, well, that you have these repercussions. And we're even going as far as tracking people's Google searches or their browser searches as a case.